I'm about to go interview someone who's a patient recruitment expert and also a phase one expert. We'll see where the conversation goes, but I hope you enjoy the video, all right? Hey, this is Mike Gallardo, and we're going to be talking about phase one studies, how your site can benefit from doing phase one studies, what that entails, and also we're going to be talking about patient recruitment. So, Mike, thanks for coming on.
No problem, thank you.
And Mike does biz dev and patient recruitment, a whole bunch of other stuff for a really large, actually several large companies throughout Southern California, right? Anywhere else or just SoCal?
SoCal. We're trying to branch out.
That's right. So, okay, phase one, like, I've been in this industry for 10 years, actually more now, like 11 years. And I've only done like 3 or 4 phase one studies. And that's only because phase one schizophrenia studies sometimes are phase one. Otherwise, I would have never ventured into it because my objections to you would be they're hard to get, right? And this is what most viewers' objections are. So, what do you recommend? Do you recommend someone who's never done research to start with phase one?
It depends on your facility. It depends on your physicians. It depends on your patient database. Phase one is a different research compared to phase 2 to 4. And there's misconceptions about phase one studies where if you open up a phase one site, you're going to have all these studies getting healthy people, doing a safety tolerability study, really easy studies, and that's not what happens. The problem is you have these big companies, the PPDs, the MDSs, the icons out of it, but you have these huge facilities, they can dose 200-300 patients at a time. So most sponsors go to them. If you're a privately owned research company, you're going to have to look into the special population groups, the renal impairment, the hepatic impairment, the DDI, drug-drug interaction studies, diabetes phase 1 studies.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of studies you're going to have to bid for.
Yeah.
So you have to have as we're talking about recruitment, you have to have that population.
Yeah, we're going to get into recruitment when we switch cameras. But so for this, so we just had a conversation prior to recording where I said, you know what, outpatient studies are great. They're what keeps the lights on. They're what pays you a steady salary as the owner. I mean, you could easily make 6 figures a year in your first year if you're doing all the work, right? So nothing to sneeze at, but inpatient studies is where people buy boats.
Yes.
I know some sites that own private jets. Like, that's where serious money is at.
Yeah, the phase 1 research is where physicians actually close down their practices once you have a full functioning running phase 1 site. A lot of physicians are known to close down their practice because they're making a lot more revenue with phase 1
With
research.
phase 1.
Yes.
And 2017 is the year for me to finally get my CRO launched. We're actually laying the foundation. But after this conversation, it's also, we have to leave some room for phase 1 studies. So you're going to help us out, right?
Yes, we've discussed it, and I think that 2017 is a good year for you. It's going to be a good year for phase 1.
That's right, and we'll switch cameras and talk about recruitment for 2 minutes, okay? So, we just talked about phase 1, like how it's good for your business, when you should start. Obviously, everyone should start at some point because the money is ridiculous. I've been in this industry for 11 years. I've only done 3 phase 1 studies, but made huge profits every time. So, it's something that it's going to be a priority for 2017 going forward. Now, phase 1, we were just talking earlier. If you're brand new at phase 1, you're probably not going to get started with healthy volunteer study, right?
No, you're not.
So what are they going to get started with most likely?
You have to go with the special population, and that depends on your forte, what your doctor's specialty. If you're GI, then you look into GI phase 1 studies. Hepatic.
Let's say you have a general medicine doctor.
General medicine, you can get into pretty much everything. You can look into diabetes phase 1 studies, any kind of endocrine, anything with endocrine.
Yeah.
What is out there? COPD,
right.
COPD. But a lot of these companies are going to also want.
And how do you apply for these?
Well, you have to find the company. You have to bid on it. Same way you go feasibility. You have to have a business development person who usually has a lot of contacts in the industry.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And then just go
Just
that
bid
way.
it, yeah, just bid on it.
Can someone do it through clinicaltrials.gov?
You can, and that's actually what we were doing earlier. Is we were on
It's just tedious,
clinicaltrials.gov.
right?
You tedious, yes. You look for enrolling studies that are struggling. If you really want to kick off a phase 1 site, you find a struggling study, a sponsor that is stuck and they need patients, and you get on as an add-on site, and you just find those patients for that sponsor, and that'll boost your name in the industry.
Good. And then, okay, now how do you find these patients?
These patients are usually, there's several ways you can find patients. Usually when you get a phase 1 study, you're going to also have a recruitment budget. With the recruitment budget, you want to start, especially recruitment, you want to start with the least amount of money possible. You want to start with like the social media. You want to start with stuff like ads. Then you move up, you know, and you kind of want to stay away from, especially if you're starting, TV commercials, because that's just
It's too much money, right? That's overpriced.
Overpriced, very overpriced. So
And
you wanna
what
start
works
with-
best? What's the best way to get patients?
Best way to get patients is a doctor's office and word of mouth.
And this way you guys have been doing
Yes.
it, right?
Yeah.
Say hello, Monica. So, on the ground recruitment works best. I always tell people the PI zone database,
Yes.
preferably, right? If not, who are their colleagues?
Colleagues.
Go after them, right?
Yes.
Stalk them. I've told Monica. Stalk them. Follow them home if
Yes.
you have to. Follow them to every facility they go to.
I think you'll be surprised at, a lot of people think that going to a doctor's office, you know, the doctor's gonna shut them down right. You'd be surprised, a lot of the doctors are really intrigued by research and are willing to help out,
Yeah.
you know.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Monica.
Thank you.
So, if people want to reach out to you, how can they do it right now?
Right now you can reach me at Mike Gallardo, that's MikeGallardo 1975
All right. I'll put it in the video. Thank you, Mike.
No problem, thank you.
Thank you, Guru Nation. Take
All right,
care.
Monica, so we forgot to mention one important aspect of patient recruitment. Always get your invoices out, right?
Yes, I am invoicing for lunch and learns and for each facility and what you did in each facility, which is probably discussing potential patients.
And for this one study, what's the dollar amount for that?
Is for the first visit is $200, and then for the follow up is $100.
So the message here is, after we heard Mike's interview, recruitment's important. Make sure you invoice for it, all right? Usually sponsors will invoice you for it. And the worst they could say is no.
Exactly.
Thank you, Monica.